I wanted to show you drawings on just a slab of clay. And this is one way you could do it. Here you see it's already been bisqued, but there are the cut marks into the clay. And when you put the black underglaze on it and fire it again, here's what it looks like. This is the same technique where we draw into it and then lug black on it, and you can see the little burrs here. So on a three-dimensional piece, here we have a three-dimensional piece where I have all the drawings, and this has already been bisqued. Here's an insect. Here is the leather hard clay that I've been working on. And of course, porcelain is great for drawing, carving. This is carving here. Very low relief carving. And then if we look up close, here we go. We have actual carving. There you go. Carving into the porcelain, always beautiful. So these are some of the possibilities. All right, so I've got my little piece that I made with tar paper and a template. I'm putting a hole in it so it doesn't explode in the kiln. And I'm smoothing the leather hard clay. It's leather hard or a little past leather hard. You can use whatever you have, but stainless steel, a rib or a knife like this, will compress the porcelain so that it gives you a lovely surface to draw on. And I'm using a dental tool that I've sharpened. This is actually a tool that will rust. So I keep it really sharpened so that there's no rust on that point, because I don't want to stain the clay. The way this technique works, the smoothed surface is now compressed in all those plates of clay, collapse on each other, compress together, and later on, when I put the black Amaco Lug 1 underglaze on there, it doesn't penetrate the clay that's been really well compressed. And you can approach it any number of ways. Like you see the little man and the bird. There I left the clay open, and that means the underglaze will soak into the clay and you'll get grays. And then if you compress areas, you'll have white highlights. So
we're gonna wait.
I don't really have any plan for this cube with a top on it, other than I would like to put a tornado form coming up, and I will put a rod into this piece that you see, and it'll go up, and I'll make it with a template, because that's what we're doing here. A twisting tornado form that comes up out of the top of this, a bit like smoke or tornado, because I feel like that's the kind of period we're in. We're in a very fast-moving, rough ride type of time. Now, I've been thinking about this man that is on the border between different kingdoms, the animal and the insect kingdom. And he performs like a mind meld between the two. So you can see here, uh, the giant insects are surrounding him, and they're going to place their antennas on his cranium in order to execute the mind meld. And I think he's ready for it. Though his eyes are bulging out a bit, it's probably not the first time he's done this. I'm quite fond of insects. I like to think that they're everywhere. And in this case, they're definitely everywhere. Now you see he's making contact. When this comes out of the bisque kiln, we will get to see this again with, and I'll do a demonstration of laying the Leguan Amico black underglaze on this. And then you'll be able to see the lines better, although I put a raking light on this so you could see it. Yeah, it's really important because this is like lace work or white on white work. And it'll be kind of a gray black. And then when it comes out of the Cone 10 kiln, um, it'll be quite brilliant. Now a beautiful, brilliant black and white. When I put this tornado shape up, on top, coming up and out of this house form, I'm going to have to give some thought to how to preserve that shape, which will have delicate, thin porcelain walls and a twisting form. How do I get that through the firing? I'll need to probably need to make some supports for it, because it'll be kind of like the shape of a narrow wasp nest. You know those paper walled nests. Now here we have the man, again with the bird. And you can see that I carved the background on of the man with the bird. And let's move on to some drawing that we can see better. Looks like I am just having a good time drawing by myself over there. Now, actually it's the two phylums, insect phylum and animal phylum, is not kingdom, as Doug reminds me here. And the kingdom would be plants and animals. So now I'm reviewing my various sides and making changes on this block. And as I'm working, because I touch it, I can kind of squish the lines, then I have to open them up again. And here we have, it could be a man or it could be a woman, I'm not sure, who's looking a little bit on the upset side. But that will work well with the tornado, with her hair flying up like that, or his hair flying up like that. I try to make men and women. There's our man. And now we have a fresh, beautiful, fresh surface to draw on. If you wanted, you could take like a template and use that to make a shape. So I'm going to take my serrated tool here and just cut into this clay so that I have a pattern over the whole thing. Now I can come in with my stainless steel rib and cut a shape. You see that? Now that's going to show up beautifully of darkness and light. And then it reminds me of steel engravings. If you've ever seen steel engravings where they do the chiaroscuro with these metallic lines. Now, this is kind of nice. If you're not sure what to do, you just rough the whole thing up and then you go in with your tool and smooth areas and already you have a shape. Now this one is going to be a little relief from the crazy times, as I think this woman will be, she will be kind of relaxed and happy. And now and then we could use some relaxed and happy. And her dress, I can see her dress already. It's a 1940s kind of dress. It could be, I'm thinking of my mother, who wore beautiful 1940s clothes. Yeah. And we've got some curves to go with those curves, right? And the bust or the hand coming across. Yeah. Now I'm going to say, okay, nice. Oh, we've got another curve because you already have this beautiful curve with the compressed clay and the roughed clay. So this is really very formal and abstract. I am not actually thinking about what those will be, those curves. Although I know that she's a woman with her beautiful 1940s suit on. Yeah. Now, another curve. At a certain point, here we are. Okay, then I say to myself, okay, I know what this is. These are the umbrellas at the No Cop Co-op. All those beautiful colored umbrellas at the No Cop Co-op at off of Broadway on Capitol Hill. And that's why she's so happy, because she's surrounded by fabulous colored big parasols. Yeah. Bumbershoot, umbrellas. Now, I know I'm thinking about something here, but you know, at this point, I no longer know what I'm doing. Okay, but it looks like I'm picking out the profile. I want to show the profile here. There's the umbrella, and I have it pass through her body, because why not? Those are the ribs of the parasol, the umbrella. And all right, give her a real nose and a real mouth and chin. Now she's got a real profile. Okay. And then I like to do a dotted line. It's not realistic, but we all know that a dotted line means either through something transparent or farther away, and we read it that way. Down below it looks like she's touching with the right hand, she's touching an umbrella. Now, time to assess. Here we go. Now, even though I have compressed down that rough, that roughness there, I think that it'll still, some of that will still show when it comes time to put the black on this, because it's not entirely compressed. I'm waiting. Okay, there. I've got the belly. I'm waiting for the part where I make those hips broader. I think her hips need to be broader. Now with that, this is my favorite steak knife. I can make this very light serrated line. You can just see it, so that it looks like a bit of darkness that you see through some kind of scrim, the umbrella scrim, the umbrella, the semi-transparent umbrella. The people at the No Cop Co-op are very happy because there's just so much color and beauty around and all kinds of paintings and many fabulous umbrellas. Okay, now I'm glad to see that I got the hip a little thicker. Usually when I finish a drawing, that I'm not done here, but when I finish it, I always set it back. I set it aside and I wait till the next day or a week later, and then I look at it again to see what I might like to change. The other thing that's really helpful is you take a photo. Now I always do this. I take a photo and then I look at the photo on my big computer screen. Is I don't know whether, perhaps because it kind of simplifies your image a little bit, but in any case, it allows you to really see what you've done, and then I often make changes. Going back to the rough again. Now, those lines that I'm cutting into the compressed clay, they're super fine, but they're going to show up no problem because I've pierced the clay. You know what you may notice that if instead of piercing the clay, if you kind of lay your tool in and slide a groove in, the color is compressed and the color will just go in and wash right out. But with experience, you'll know what I'm talking about there. So you can make the finest line if you want to make like super fine, delicate lines like that. It's all going to show up, no problem. And then if you want to do a highlight, or you want to make sure her profile really shows, you can do that here with this, oh yeah, with a knife. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Once again, I'm taking that very fine serrated knife, and I'm drawing her arm that goes up. And then, because I don't think you're really going to be able to see this well, I'm lightly drawing the arm and the hand in. All right, there it is. It's kind of nice to know that most of the time I understand what I'm up to. Okay, let's make her, yeah. These are for bigger thighs, bigger butt. That's good. All right, so now I'm sitting here by myself, telling you about how to draw. And I may not be as articulate as I would like. So I'll repeat this information about the quality of clay. It has this very fine, regular structure, like plate-like, like the tiles on a roof. So when
Not
you
really
take,
sure what I'm doing there.
oops, when you take your tool and
That's
compress,
kind of interesting.
you are aligning all those plates together, crushing them down, smoothing them out, and they're all going
Right.
on top of each other, making that smooth, very lovely surface for the line drawings that I'm
Now,
doing.
as I work on another side, I have to be careful not to smear and crush the lines that I made on the opposite side.
So, you don't have to compress the clay, and if you don't, or you can go ahead and compress it, and then when you open it up with carving and drawing, you can get every texture and that you could imagine. It's so sensitive. It's delightful. Now, if you take a look, you can see all the different textures I have there. All of that will show up. The tiniest mark will show up. It's really quite delightful. So don't be afraid. Have at it. If you're not happy with what you've done, that doesn't matter. You've now just put down a pattern that you can make like a negative space and begin again. Have a good time with this. And later, we'll come back when this has been bisqued, and I'll show you how to use the black underglaze to bring out your lines and textures. Bye-bye. All right. Now,
see.